Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's episode of Digital for Everyone. Digital for Everyone is a weekly podcast designed to help you navigate the digital world with confidence. Tonight's guest is going to be Jamila Bannister. She's going to help us learn how to leverage direct messaging. Very excited to have her on. She's going to join us shortly, and I hope everyone is doing great, staying safe in these COVID times. I myself had to get a COVID test, and it's not fun. Boy, can I tell you, it is not fun. Ryan Olton, welcome. The stalwart always here. Phoenix Pro, welcome as well. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that. Yeah. How is everybody doing? I had to get a COVID test this week, guys. Not fun. Straight up the nose. Sucks. I am negative, though, so glad to hear that. Jamila will be joining us shortly, guys. If you're now joining us, tonight's episode is about how to leverage direct messaging. And I think it's a very important thing because I think a lot of people tend to just DM and they kind of copy paste stuff and they don't really, welcome Amanda, how you doing? They don't really kind of think about what they're going to say. They don't really do some research on the people, and I think it's a big problem. Let's just see where Jamila is. All right. Jamila, welcome. Just wondering where, if you stood me up. All right. That's how I pronounce it. Excellent. I'm glad. So Jamila will be joining us shortly. And we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, I'm sure. Welcome, Abisoon, PJ Love. Which means to join. Ah, welcome. Hello. Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you? How's everyone? Hi, everyone. Good evening.
I'm not too bad. I heard you had a live just before this. How did that go?
I did. It was good. It was good. I did a multi-stream over a few channels, so that was good. Yes.
Fanciness. Okay.
Yes.
And I also hear you have something coming up. Tell everyone here and remind me what it is.
Okay, guys. So I actually have a virtual summit coming up. It's running from the 25th to the 28th of August. And It's all about personal branding, and it's focused mainly on corporate dropouts. Like, I classify corporate dropouts as people who would like to leave their job and start their own business, who have left their job and they're just kind of struggling to kind of get everything together for their own online business, or who may have lost their job due to COVID and decided, well, you know what, I'm going to use this time as an opportunity to restart in the way that I wanted, and they want to be able to take those corporate skills, massage them into something that is valuable and offer them. Because lots of us who are coming out of the corporate world, we have all these skills from a corporate environment, but we don't really know how to make them work or make them valuable outside of the corporate context. And by building your brand and getting yourself streamlined to be focused on a very specific thing, a very specific audience, so that I help people with personal branding, and that is what the summit is about: personal brand development.
Okay, great. I mean, I think that's definitely very valuable. I mean, a lot of people will fall into the third category there, as you mentioned, but for sure, there's lots of people who are always looking to leave and chase their own dreams. So, guys, if you want to check out this personal branding summit for corporate dropouts, as Jamila calls them, please check it out. Follow her on Instagram and find out more. Guys, so let me introduce Jamila. Jamila Bannister is a personal branding strategist and coach. She works with corporate dropouts, as we just mentioned, who want to level up and grow their reputation by improving their confidence, leveraging digital content, and mastering communication. So Jamila is here to talk to us about how to leverage direct messaging, which is a huge thing. I mean, I get direct messages by about Forex groups all the time, and they're always the same copy-paste stuff, right? So, teach us how, Jamila, in your own words, like how to make the best out of that. It's almost like a cold call, right? But it's online.
Yeah, it is. And Okay, so you know that it goes down in the DMs. Everybody knows that song, right?
Yes,
And
it does.
the thing is, a direct message is different from a cold call in the sense that you have a real opportunity to get to know your potential lead, right? And that's what I'll start off with. You need to do your research, right? When it comes
Okay.
to direct messaging, if you want to be able to, if you let's say you have people in a particular industry, you should at least know something about the industry and know something about what is going on with the people as they appear online. You know, being
Okay.
online gives us the advantage of being able to dig deep into that person's history, get a sense of who they are, right? And prepare yourself before you decide you want to reach out to somebody. It really makes a huge difference when you can actually take the information that you learn and shape whatever pitch that you want to pitch to them, shape whatever thing you want to say to them. It makes a huge impact.
One question: would you are we talking about DMs on Facebook? Are we talking specifically for LinkedIn? You know, or is this just like across the board, any platform that you reach out?
Well, when it comes to DM, I say this: direct messaging is communication. So regardless of what platform you use, this advice will apply. However, there are certain platforms like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is made for direct messaging. I always say that, right? Just because of the nature of the platform, people are on there looking to connect for business purposes. So in terms of sending a direct message, that's almost expected on LinkedIn, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. On certain platforms, it's not as expected. So sometimes when people actually receive it, they're a little bit taken aback. But you can get past that with proper communication and with you doing your research and really preparing yourself to talk to that person. If somebody doesn't expect to receive a message from you, you better make it good. You better make it good.
Right. Okay.
So, but I do the bulk of my messaging on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So some of the things I say may be unique to LinkedIn, but I can assure you that if you apply these principles, regardless of the platform that you use, it will work.
All right. So step one, do your research. Kind of know who you're talking to. Have an idea of what they do, what they're going through at the moment. Things like that. All right, cool. So we've done the research. What's next?
So the next thing is that, well, this is a research point as well, but it's important to study that person's profile, because I can't tell you how many pictures I've gotten with people who don't address me by name, which is a huge problem for me, right? Okay. I do not like when people don't call me by my name, and I think that is something that highly personalizes a message. So I would tell you, call people by their name, right? Okay. Do not call them. Don't just say, hey, I see your profile is so and so and so. Would you be interested?
Interesting. Okay.
And also, particularly in LinkedIn, people have these cities that they're in listed. So people might say, well, I'm not sure where you are, or they may refer to something that kind of places you in another city, and like, well, I'm not from there. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. Or why would you offer me something that clearly doesn't apply to my country? You know, so that comes back to having a sense of doing your research. You know, people really do respect and they love when you take time to get to know them before you actually talk to them, right?
Okay.
Right. So.
Just one thing, and Maurice is asking, how do you make it good on Facebook where you can easily sound like a stalker? I know we kind of talked about that a little bit, but if you want to address that again, sure.
Yeah, okay, so doesn't matter what the platform is. So Facebook I noticed recently that Facebook is actually giving you an opportunity when you add somebody to give you a chance to send a little note, right? That wasn't something that was there before. That was something that was on LinkedIn. But now Facebook is actually giving you the opportunity to send a small note. So when you want to send a small note, when you add somebody, tell them why you're adding them. Say, listen, introduce yourself. I am so and so, and I noticed that we have X in common or Y in common, and I thought it would be okay for me to reach out and connect with you, right? Something as simple as that. But don't just add people you don't know and don't say anything. Any context. Don't say anything. You know, it's kind of like silent. That's where the stalker vibes come in, when you don't already say.
Oh, you wave at them.
Yeah, it does wave. Like, what does that mean? Yeah. Right?
Okay.
So, nobody. I DM people every single day.
Okay.
And nobody has ever rejected my thing. Nobody ever. Now, some people may not respond for one reason or the other. I don't know why. Maybe they're not on LinkedIn, or maybe they saw it and they forgot, or maybe they just say, I'm not going to respond to this person because I don't know what they want, right? But nobody has ever rebuffed me. Nobody has ever said, don't message me. That has never happened to me, right?
I'm glad you brought that up. There's something I want to bring up. What would you say to people who are they're afraid of that? No, they're worried that, you know, I'm going to ask if I message them, and what if they say no? Da, da, da. What would you say to those people who are, I guess, it's afraid of the rejection? Because that, I think, is a big thing for people.
Well, you see that. Well, that brings me to another point that I was going to bring up later. The thing of it is, a direct message is not. I know a lot of people use direct messaging to pitch something to sell, right? A DM is ideally it shouldn't be pitching anybody who you don't know, because they are cold to you. They don't know you. A basic principle of sales is that you get people warmed up before you actually ask them for anything, right? So the only answer you will get, the only question that you can pose, or the only piece of communication that will get no, is a question asking somebody for something. So first of all, you don't want to head in there asking people for anything. You want to be a servant. You want to add value. That's all they're heading in for, right? A direct message is like a virtual business card. When you give somebody a business card, you don't say, here's my business card and come buy from me now. You don't say that. Right? You said, you know what, if there's anything I could help you with, if there's anything I could support you with, feel free to give me a call. That is what you say when you hand a business card. And that is what a direct message is like. A direct message isn't supposed to be something to try to sell people off the back, which is where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of insurance agents, a lot of people try to sell you these MLM stuff. A lot of them, these crypto coin, these, you know, these
it's a new fad, yeah.
Yeah, because what they do is that the approach is 100% wrong. People don't want to be sold to. If you don't know me, why would you walk? It's like walking up to somebody in the street and say, log on to my channel and sign up for my YouTube channel. I'll be like, what? Who are you?
Yeah.
Why would I subscribe to your channel? Do you even know me? Do you know I would care about that? Why are you asking me about that? Right?
So a good question, I think, which leads right into your next point. Abisun is saying LinkedIn DMs are 90% not personalized, and she said they say it happens especially when someone's full profile is restricted to contacts, to just contacts.
Well, in that it's restricted to just contacts. I somehow I've never seen that, but I'm not sure what she means when she says it's restricted to just contacts. Perhaps she could explain what that means.
Sure.
But LinkedIn gives you enough information where you can make a fairly decent assessment, right? You can at least see what people's field of expertise is. You can at least see the city that they're in. You may not see their face. Now, I generally don't engage with people who don't have pictures because I don't know what that means. I don't know who I'm talking to there.
Okay, interesting.
I deprioritize people without pictures, right? Because I think as basic etiquette, if you walk up to me in the street, you wouldn't have a paper bag over your face. You would be coming to me.
True. Okay.
And I'm courteous enough to have a picture for you to see of me. So, right, that's how I see it. I forgot the point of the question.
Sorry. So you there comes a point where, like, I think everyone here has gotten it. You know, a super scripted message, which you said is not even personalized to have your name. It just says, hey, would you be interested in? And it's like a wall of text. Yes. Where do you see the balance between using a script and, you know, it being too scripted?
Well, okay, so the thing of it is, I use a script, but the script leaves room for me to personalize it to the individual.
Okay.
Right? This does mean that you're going to have to look at every single profile before you send a message, but I can guarantee you there's a payoff for that in the end, right? So a lot of people want to be able to accomplish a lot, and they want to accomplish it fast. When it comes to selling, that's not the way it works. When it comes to brand building, that's not the way it works. It will take time, right? So earlier this year, I built my network. I had a surge in people adding me, a surge in connections. But I literally sat and I messaged every single person individually. And what that did is that created a momentum where as soon as I was adding into their network, more and more people from their network started to add me. And it just turned into about 2,500 people in a short space of time.
Very impressive.
And the bottom line, I think a lot of people try to do too much too soon. And as a result of that, they try to copy and paste this message to a whole bunch of people. and then they get rejected en masse. No, you have to be more strategic when it comes to communicating with people.
Okay.
So basic communication requires that you to call people by their name and that you actually use that research that you would have had to actually craft something that actually personalized to them. So if I see, for example, I may see your profile, Robert, in LinkedIn. I may say, "Hi, Robert. Nice to meet you. I see that you are a senior digital strategist. I too have an interest in digital marketing. It would be great to connect because I think we could have some good conversation about different things."
Okay.
When I say that, you're like, okay, two things you would know for sure. I actually looked at your profile. I have a sense of what you do.
Right.
And you know what, you never know what I could bring to the table and vice versa. So you might be inclined to say yes. But if I just say, "Hey, like to connect," or "Hey," I mean, it doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
Okay.
So yeah, so it is very different. So like over when COVID had just kicking off in the Caribbean, there was a doctor I connected with on LinkedIn. And I sent her a message and I told her, "Don't know if you're on the front lines battling, but if you are, please be safe, gear up, this and that." And I said, "I just wanted to connect with you on LinkedIn." And she was blown away. She just couldn't believe that somebody who she didn't know was telling her to be safe and she's on the front line. And that is a level of personalization that you have to perform when you engage with people. You can't be generic.
Okay. It is all right. If you were to say, like, because I know some of the commenters before had said, insurance agents are everybody's favorite to hate, right? They kind of hound you down and stuff like that, and harass you. And then obviously now they're more aggressive than ever because you have such a slowdown in work. What would you say as like requirements for your script? Like if you could bullet point it and say, okay, introduction, this, that, and the other. And then, as you said, there's a lot of improvisation, but things that, let's say, a script needs.
It needs to be personalized, so greet people by name, open with your name. There needs to be some common ground between yourself and the lead.
Okay.
Find some way to connect you and them. Find some way to connect you and them.
Okay.
The next thing is that find some way to connect your purpose with their purpose.
Okay.
Right? There must be some sort of syncing, because if I don't have a problem, your solution doesn't matter to me.
Okay, right? Fair. Yeah, that's a good point. Right?
Yeah. And also include what you do, say how you provide value. And a key part of a script, a very key part, is to close the conversation. So give people the opportunity. Say, well, if this is of interest to you, feel free to reach out. Don't ask people open-ended questions. We hate that.
Okay.
How are you today? I don't know why you're asking me that. That's so weird.
I don't have time for this. Yeah. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
How are you? The other day I got a message like that. How are you? How was your day? Are you busy? I said, excuse me. I don't mean to be blunt, but where is this conversation going? I said, have we met?
I've had to shut down some messages on LinkedIn that were just like, okay, we got the hi, how are you? Hope everything is cool. And then I was like, all right, what are we here for?
Exactly.
Yeah, Maurice is adding a quote there. If I don't have a problem, your quote there. If I don't have a problem, your solution doesn't help me. That's great. So we start, just for people who've just joined. I know you may have jumped in late. So the first thing that Jamila was going over is if you want to reach out to somebody in a direct message, do your research. Show that you've actually thought about who they are, what they do, and study their profile so that you get an idea of what you actually offer, if it relates to them at all, and use a script that kind of introduces yourself, is personal to them, and then actually closes off the conversation to let them take the next step, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
All right. Absolutely. Excellent. And I see you have a point here in the talk. It points about authenticity. Speak to me a bit about that. I'm not sure, how is reaching out in a DM, how is it inauthentic versus authentic?
Well, I think that comes down to whether or not you're generic or you're personalized. So, and also where you can find that connection between yourself and somebody else. So even if you and I don't have anything that is overtly in common,
Right.
You find some bit of something on the person's profile, or you guys may have ended up in a common space. Say, well, I know we in vastly different industries, but I still want to be able to connect and expand my network because I could always learn something from you. So I just think people need to be honest about why they want to connect and be open about that. Understand that everybody on LinkedIn wouldn't have something in common with somebody else, but it doesn't
Right.
mean that you still can't connect and add value to each other. It doesn't mean that, right? So I just think you should be open and honest. Don't try to give people vague things, which is where a lot of people fall down when they're trying to sell these types of trading and the kind of services to tell you something about financial literacy, which is not what it is. Don't tell me that.
And do you wanna? You seem like a person who's interested in opening more lines of revenue and all sorts of stuff.
What? Like, how did you deduce that from my profile? Those things are not authentic. They're not real. Just say, this is what I'm about and this is what it is, and I'll give people the opportunity to say no. Just my thing is keep it authentic and just being real. That's what it is. So,
and it takes, I think, to your point, and guys, what you said is really spend the 5 minutes working on an individual lead rather than spending, an hour mass blasting 5,000 people, because you're gonna get ignored. And it's much more worth it to develop, the leads who actually show interest rather than the just the mass pay and spray kind of sort of stuff. So Jamila, so that is how we leverage in direct messaging, right? You want to, do your research, study their profile, use a script to keep you kind of on point, but at least leave it some flexibility. Phoenix Pro is saying glad he's not alone. And then keep it authentic. So don't just, be who you are. This is who you are. This is what you offer. This is what you not just offer, but bring to the table, right?
Yeah, and you can write in your most authentic voice. If it's authentic to you to send a voice note, I send lots of voice notes. If it's authentic to you to send a video, I send videos as well. Those things have the most impact. And just be yourself. Don't try to put on a show for people. Just be who you are, Be honest. Yeah.
So if you had any advice for the insurance agents out there who I'm sure are going to take a look at this, aside from come and join your virtual summit, what would you say is the first step that you would give to them?
Well, I say this. I'd say that direct messaging is only as good as the profile it comes from. So I think a lot of insurance agents need to spend time actually putting out content and actually giving us things that are useful. Because when you become familiar to me, your direct message isn't, especially when you're not used to kind of writing pieces of communication that gets people to take action. Your direct message isn't as like a bit of why you're in my personal space. Take time to actually build a profile, put out some content, educate people a bit. And I worked in the insurance space in marketing in 2 different companies, and that's something that a lot of agents did not do. They didn't, because they're so driven, and I suppose it's because of the pressure of the industry to make the sale. But they're so driven just to get somebody as a number. But that little bit of time you spend building that brand could really do wonders for you. It really makes a massive difference. So I'd say the direct message is as critical as the profile being built and the content being put out.
Right.
So that's what I would...
Very nice, very nice. And guys, if you missed it early on, she had mentioned that LinkedIn obviously is your best place to start there because it is work focused and corporate focused. But it doesn't mean that you can't reach out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just know your context and approach accordingly. Guys, if there's any questions, we have a few minutes left. If there's any questions, shoot them out. Jamila, just take a moment to let everybody else know about your upcoming virtual summit again, because I know some of them might not have heard about it.
All right, guys. So the Brand Print Summit is taking place on the 25th to the 28th of August, and it's a virtual summit specifically designed for corporate dropouts who would like to build their personal brand and their online businesses. We have 4 days. We have 36 speakers from 7 countries giving you so much value. I made sure and I handpicked every single one of the people who are speaking. And guess how I got them? Direct messaging. That's how I filled my summit with people, right?
Nice.
because I build those relationships, and I ask everybody one-on-one. So some people might wonder how you got this person. I just ask them, you approach them accordingly, and you be very clear about what your intention is. So guys, visit www.brandprintsummit.com, sign up, grab your free ticket. It is free, and enjoy the summit. I look forward to seeing all of you there.
Well, I'm definitely going to grab one after this. I'm just going to put the link up there for everybody to check out in the comment. Guys, Jamila, thank you very much for your time. This was very insightful. Guys, if you also want to know, just to add to one point, if you also wanted to know about how to improve your profile on LinkedIn, we have another talk on our Instagram page from Jared Best Mitchell, who is this LinkedIn boss, and he taught us how to use LinkedIn more effectively. So put these two talks together and, step up your DM game. Jamila, thank you very much.
I just had one more point to make. I don't know if
you
have 5 more minutes, right? You still have some time.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So one of the last things I wanted to say too that I had here in my notes is that once you DM people to, sometimes we get into the space where we are messaging and reaching out, and we don't expect people to respond in the way that we want. But then you meet that person who does respond in the way that you want, and you meet that person who actually is like, you may meet that person. Now, 95% of the time, people who you're reaching out to will not be ready to engage with you. Okay, so Tijan Clothing is saying they follow me. Hi, how are you? Right?
You have some fans.
I had some fans, right? So one of the most important things that you have to remember that you need to have somewhere to lead people to, should they decide, okay, well, tell me more about what you have to offer. Right? So whether you want to lead them to a landing page, or you want to lead them to a website, or you want to give them a freebie, you want to take them somewhere so that you now have that person's attention owned inside of your email system or something like that. So have somewhere to send them after you take them off of, because the purpose of social media is to get the person off and into your ecosystem. Into your place, into wherever you want them to be, so that they can continue to receive your emails, so that your brand continues to be visible in their eyes even after they scroll away from your profile.
Okay, so, you're right.
It really is important that you have somewhere to take people to. For a long time, I was wondering what I was doing wrong, is because I had nowhere to lead them. And you can't take the sheep out of the after the pasture. You have nowhere to lead them to. You have to lead them somewhere.
Okay.
Right? So that's
very good point. Okay, thank you for that. I mean, that you're right. I did almost leave out that last part. It's just one thing to DM them, but what happens when you get the lead that's interested? Exactly. So, guys, just to recap really quick, the points: do your research. Don't come out to the blue with a message that has no context for the person. Study their potential lead's profile so that you get some context. Again, it's a bit more of doing your research, but see where they are in the industry, in their life. Are they actually likely to be interested in what you are selling, right? Because essentially, that's everything we're doing is selling, right? Use a script, but don't have it too structured. Don't just copy paste this thing. Personalize it. Have some extemporaneous stuff. Don't make it be like, well, okay, this person didn't answer the way I needed, so I don't know what to do. Have a script, but don't let it be your prison. Keep it authentic. Speak the way that you would speak to them anyway, because if you speak to them real professionally and then you're talking to them on the phone like, yeah, what's he seen? It's really disconcerting for people. And then have a plan to take the lead off of social media or off of the platform and into your ecosystem. So just thank you for being with us, Jamila. I hope that recapped the points, guys. Check out the brandprintsummit.com. It's August 25th to the 28th. Jamila is going to be hosting it. Should be very, very informative.
It will be.
Jamila, thank you again, guys. We're going to be here next week with the Paris James at 8:30 p.m. It's a special time. She's going to be actually talking to us about influencers. So this will be very interesting because it's influencers from a influencer. So guys, if you haven't already, please follow myself. Please follow Jamila. And see you guys next week.
Ciao. Bye.
Bye-bye.